Here with Concordia head golf coach Brett Muller to preview the 2023-24 seasons for both the men and women. As we record this, getting pretty close to first official tournaments of the year. From the top, wanted to maybe start with the news that was announced this summer about Amy Ehlers Allgood. She was announced as a Hall of Fame selection for Concordia. What in your mind makes her deserving of this kind of recognition?
Amy's just an all-around great person. Really exemplifies what the Hall of Fame committee was looking for in a worthy inductee. She's a strong student athlete, and a woman of her faith as well, and had a great career on the course, in the classroom as well, and continues to grow in her faith.
And on the men's side with this coming year's team, you're benefiting from the return of Drew to Urkel, who's going to use a fifth year of college. What excites you about having him back in the lineup?
For Drew, just his experience. He's been a player that's been in our top five every tournament of his career. Definitely someone the guys look up to as well, just with that experience, and we expect him to play towards the top of our lineup. I know he has set pretty high goals for himself individually, and we're going to help him achieve those goals.
You had a very deep men's team last year. Sometimes I'm sure hard to figure out who was in some of the 4 or 5 spots of the lineup, and broke a school record for scoring average. How much of an improvement are you expecting just from that? I'm sure depth could be a theme again.
Yep. I think we will have great depth again. We brought in 4 pretty solid golfers, and I think are all have the capability of playing in our top 5. Bringing back everyone basically except Ivan from those guys that had, of course, the experience last year, and I know those returners are all looking for a top 5 spot. I definitely think it's going to help the competitiveness of our practice, just to have that depth, and guys knowing that they have to bring it every day in practice to be able to travel in that top 5.
Right. As far as figuring that out, that starts right away in preseason, right? What's kind of the process towards I guess filling out the lineup for the first tournament?
Yeah, so just with the start date getting pushed back a little bit this year, we were not able to bring the team in prior to the start of classes. So we're doing everything we can this week to get as many holes in. We're trying to get 54 holes in. The weather hasn't exactly cooperated with the heat, but we were able to play 9 holes yesterday at Pioneers. Plan on playing today at Jim Egger, and then tomorrow we'll head over to York for 9 holes, and then followed by Thursday at Thornridge, and then we'll be out at Highlands on Friday to play 18 holes on Friday. So we're playing 5 different golf courses, trying to get the best sample size that we can, and then we'll take our top 7 from qualifying. We'll go down to Oklahoma City, and then the guys that don't make the top 7 will play Mount Marty's Invite, the first tournament of the year.
All right. Well, on the women's side, you did lose Lauren Havlat, but also return people like Logan Eschleman and Maya Nurse. Also kind of beefed up the roster a little bit, but what does it mean to have maybe some of those upperclassmen? I know Logan's another that decided to come back for an extra year. Yeah,
Logan's another one that they'll provide experience for us on the women's side. She has played in the top 5 quite a few of her collegiate rounds. Someone that kind of understands what college golf is all about. She's really worked hard this summer as well. Maya had a solid year for us last year as well. And just to have 2 of those, returning that kind of understand what the GPAC and Concordia golf looks like.
Emery Custer was GPAC newcomer of the year last year. What's maybe the next step in her game?
Yeah, I know Emery is definitely someone that can lead us on the course. She's a great competitor. She has very high standards for herself. Sometimes she gets a little down on herself because she does expect a lot of herself.
I know the women have several new players to the team. How do they kind of impact your outlook on the women's side?
Yeah, so with having 10 players, we have 5 new players to the program. We'll definitely have added depth on the women's side as well. I think Maddie Lewis is someone that can come in and compete for us at a high level right away.
And recently the GPAC went to having all the championship rounds in the spring. How does that impact kind of the way you prepare throughout a year? Yeah,
so it's changed us a little bit just in our preparation. We really have to be our best at the end of the spring season. It's put a little more emphasis on that spring. The fall definitely still matters. We're really jockeying for position in the fall, and trying to gain confidence going in that spring season. But really having to try to get out and kind of push the weather early in the spring and make sure we're ready to go. Spring golf in the Midwest isn't always the best weather, as we found out last spring with the women's GPAC. We just got to be ready to go.
Well, would you rather have it be 100 or 50?
Well,
with rain and wind.
Yeah, I would prefer the hot. I know Emery told me yesterday she would definitely prefer spring golf, and I will hold her to that. Now I will remind her of that in the spring
when it's sleeting. And yeah. What's kind of the strategy to putting together your schedules each year? Maybe you like to play some of the same invites, but also provide a look at some different courses. How do you work that out? Yeah,
it's always nice to play some local events. Play that GPAC competition, kind of figuring out how you stack up with them, and then it's also nice to get more regionally based there and play some of the top schools in the region, that just to kind of see where you fit in nationally and see where you need to improve. And it's the schedule kind of changes a little bit every year, but we're always looking to find a competitive schedule each year.
Is spring break set this year yet, or are we able to announce that?
Yes, so the men's team will be going on a spring break trip this year. They'll be headed to the Phoenix area, similar spot to where the ladies were last year. We'll be playing a Minnesota State Mankato's invite.